Okay, welcome back from the lunch break. Did you all get enough food and was it good? Good, 2 questions and then expect 1 answer. But I'm seeing thumbs up, so that's great. I've also seen that there's already so much going on under the hashtag ADA18 on both Twitter and Instagram, so keep that up. It's so cool to make our speakers and everything that happens here visible also to the outside world. One of our speakers, the one that I'm going to introduce next, has many very different passions. She loves Star Trek, she loves orangutans, she loves acting, and she loves lean and agile working methods. The latter is also her job at Volkswagen. As a software product manager there, she's the link between software engineering, product management, and UX design. And she's going to give us an insight into a new way to build software. So please welcome Eleonora Scherl.
Hello, thank you for having me here. And just a second, I need to turn back. Thank you for having me here. I'm going to hold a keynote today about a new way of building software products. And I'm going to share my insights with you, and hopefully you can get some takeaways to change the world to a better. So yeah, that's me. Thank you for the introduction, so we can skip that. Here's a very important slide I want to start my keynote with. So software is our passion at Volkswagen AG. We know in a digitalized world, everything gets, about technology, about apps, web, everything. But the key factor for success, what I think it's true, it's the people. Because in the world where the access to business is so easy, like today, access to budget, access to markets, to customers, to employees, whatever you want, the barrier was never so low how it is today. The key factor for success are the people working for you. And this is a big part of the thing we're going to talk about next. So coming from people, I want to introduce a very simple picture, what is called the golden circle. This is an idea introduced by Simon Sinek. I strongly recommend to you to watch the video he has on YouTube on a TED Talk. So he introduces in this very, very simple picture, and don't underestimate the value in this simplicity, how great leaders act, think, and communicate. Here's how most people do it, from the outside to the inside. Every company and every person knows what they do. Some of them know how they do it, but most of them don't know why. And when I talk about leaders, I'm not only introducing or talking about leaders of entrepreneurs or businesses, I'm talking about leadership of your own life. So here's how it should work. You know why you are here. The why is your belief. Why are you doing things? And here comes another insight I want to share. Growth and money is just a result. It's not the why. It's a result of your performance in business and professionality in your life. This comes out of it. So there are 2 important days in your life. It's the day of your birth and the day you figure out why you're here. Questions? Yeah, questions to the end. So this is very important. Everything following from the why is like a note played in a concert. One follows the another. The how you do things, the what you do, everything is displayed in this very, very simple picture. And you should owe it to yourself to know why you're here and what you're doing. So especially when we go like working in tech or in computing, or doesn't matter where or what you work, you should know why. Because the most precious thing in your life is your time. Nobody will you give time back. Yeah, and we get money for the time we spend as a result. The better we know the why, the better we perform. So this is the ground rule for good business, for leaders, and for individuals as we are. So let's go to the next, going a little bit back to products. Here's a quote from one of my idols, Janice Fraser. She's an amazing woman in tech. And she said in one of her talks, The pace of change today is slower than it ever will be for the rest of your life. This is scary, but you don't have to be scared. So flipping that back into the products we do and the fast-changing world, this can be a little bit scary, but I can give you the tools and some insights how you can tackle that. Yeah? And there is another facade why we should dig deeper into that. Let's start being co-creators of our future. This is where we can have real impact. To take over responsibility for our thoughts, communication, and acting, right? And to introduce an era of self-determination. Yeah, I want to own the time I spend, and I want to give it like a bigger sense to make awesome products and to be a delightful partner to work with. So how are we going to do that? Let's go a little bit into product. This is super boring, don't read that. But this is a business model canvas. And a business model canvas is the first idea you should pick up when you want to introduce or to build a new product. So it shows how an organization describes, delivers, and captures value. As I said, this is deep product management work, don't read everything. But what I want to show is the 3 key parts that need to be true in order to build a successful product. Your product should be desirable. When no one wants it, doesn't matter how fancy it is. It needs to be viable. Yeah, when we are in business, we want somehow to earn money in order to grow. We talked about that, that is a result, but nevertheless, this is what companies do. They need to earn money. And it needs to be feasible. Yeah, there are lots of cases where like the desire is there and it would be a great business model, but we're not in 2345 where we can introduce the Warp 9 machine of the Enterprise, Galaxy class. So there are some limitations in technology and they need to be fulfilled and true so that we can build that product. Same between desirability and viability. We have lots of problems in this world that offer a desire. But sometimes they're at the moment, with the technology we have, not viable to do. We don't have like the business models for now that can make this possible. But even more, so we have this 3 parts that need to be true. And these 3 parts, they have like competences. Yeah, so there's a main field where you can realize these 3 parts. For the desirability, it's the customer. Yeah, it's the people paying for the product. For the viability, it's the business. And for the feasibility, the main competence is the technology. Yeah, this is the 3 fields we work in. Okay, so now we talked about, okay, a product and what needs to be true. So how are we going to build that product? Yeah, somehow this needs to become in this matrix. So this is what we call the trinity of roles in a balanced product team. So I will introduce the first thing. Desirability in the competence field of the customer is covered of a role called UX, UI, or product designer. This is the yellow one. The viability covering the product or the field of the business is covered by the product manager. The technology part, the feasibility, is covered by the role of the engineer. And originally, you see now a Venn diagram. Originally, these are competing forces. Yeah, normally, you have engineering having ideas, design having ideas, product management try to dominate someone. However, the power and the magic lies in this Venn in the middle. And this is what we call a so-called balanced product team. So what does balanced mean in this context? When we bring a team together, having all these 3 roles working together, then we talk about a so-called shared ownership. So every person in this team has the same part of responsibility for this product. If we fail together. There's no one person to be blamed. If we have success together as a team. And this is this decision-making that will be supported or that gets supported by different design thinking tools you can use. Yeah? How do we make decisions in this competing forces environment of very, very complex software products. So this is the one thing, the shared ownership, the decision-making, and not having that one project manager that is holding him or herself alone the responsibility for success or failure of a product. So having such a team ensures that every competence you need and every part for a successful product gets covered properly, and it is super fun to work like that. I will dig a little bit deeper into that roles, and by the way, we are hiring. So if you feel interested and inspired, just go to the blue booth. Okay, let's dig a little bit deeper. So you see here the Venn diagram. You see an awesome drawing that I did. So the product designer, I forgot to say, desirability is the first thing you should start with when you are discovering a new product idea or you want to validate a new product idea. Start with the desirability, because it doesn't matter how nice your product is, if no one is paying for it, that's not good. So we call the product designer the empathizer in chief. He's responsible for the user and the methodologies and the tools the designer is using in this context are the so-called user-centered design, UCD. And they're doing awesome things. They have the superpower of qualitative user research. Qualitative user research means that designers can, after a talk with you, with any one of you, figure out high-value features. They're great translators. They can do that. They do personas, yeah, to empathize with you. They do wireframes, prototypes, UI, UX, high-fidelity wireframes, everything that needs to be done in order to deliver best to the team for next decisions to do. The anti-role or the hero role that we don't want in the balanced team is the so-called design guru, the unicorn. Don't get me wrong, I love unicorns. Although I'm at the moment in my flamingo phase, I love unicorns a lot, but I want to state out is the stand-alone decision-making power. And I'm the designer, and I can do whatever I want because I'm the designer. So this is something we should consider in a balanced team not to happen. So here's the reason, a little bit pointed out, why it's so important to have user-centered design. Most business people focus on the output. The output is the top right. It is a product or a service you create. Yeah, this is the output. It has features, they have like abilities that are offered by the product. These features having an outcome. So the outcome is a problem that you solve with your product. It's not the feature, it's the problem you solve. And the benefit is why the customers want that problem to get solved. Ergo, I love saying ergo, understanding your customers is crucial for the money you want to make selling your product. And this is a common misunderstanding, and especially when we talk about like output versus outcome. Yeah, so this is a chart that shows go the other way around than it normally gets like taught in normal business classes. Okay, the next role I like to introduce is the product manager. That's me. I'm doing this in my team. So the product manager is also saying like the scales of justice. You know, in a field of these competing forces, we talked about that, being the glue and making as a service to the team a decision as a service to the team. This is something complete different than a dictator saying, yeah, I'm here and that's me. And because I'm me, I make that decision. Immediately, energy changes in every team context when you say, we clearly have not enough data to make that decision properly. We know that. But in order to continue and in order to go into the next step, I'm making now that decision so that the other entities can start or continue working. This is what the product manager is doing, besides validating with the help of design and engineers, validating business models using experiments, like you have an assumption, you create hypothesis, you design experiments around that hypothesis, you come up with minimum criteria of success, so what needs to be true in order that this experiment or this business idea gets validated. And then you figure out, okay, what I'm doing with the result. I'm continuing this path or no? So this is just a little few shades of what a product manager is doing. besides managing the team events, the team meetings, talking to stakeholders and product owners, all that stuff that is more on a horizontal level. Yeah, so design and engineering are deep craftspersons. Yeah, they know deeply what they're doing. This does not mean that the product manager does not know what he or she is doing. It's just saying it's more broad. It's more broad and helps the others to work. The anti-role is the mini CIO. You know, I'm a little hero here. It's my product. I should take over responsibility. No, this will not work. And I have news. No one wants to work with you. Yeah, like that. Okay, here we have a short example where we show how to work in high uncertainty. It's the green line. It's all the lean startup mechanics. It's the green line. Versus the blue line when you do something in the operations environment. So maybe you have heard the waterfall model. Waterfall model is not evil. It's not evil. Waterfall is really nice when you know what you do, when you have technically, practically, no uncertainties. No uncertainties, waterfall. I love doing cakes, huge wedding cakes. Waterfall is perfect because I know how my cake behaves and I know what to do. When you operate in high uncertainty, and by the way, this is the character of innovations and where we want to go to, then you better validate early and cheap in order to not ruin your budget plans or the social capital of your employees. So this is how you do. You see here this tiny shark fins. This is the build, measure, learn cycle. As I said, it's the lean startup methodologies that are introduced and used here, and this is basically the experiment work in order to learn. Yeah, learn what you're doing, validate a new product. Then we have the third role, the engineer. Rise high the roof beams. What does that mean? So it means that a technology architecture, having different microservices, different apps that all together form a huge and complex product, should grow naturally. And everything you do and every complexity in technology you introduce needs to be there for a reason, whatever this reason is, whatever maybe designers or product managers find out. This is what the developer is doing. So the environment in that I'm working, we do like XP development, so we do like test-driven development, we do pairing, we do continuous integration, deploy, delivery, all this fun stuff to keep risks low and to learn fast. We're doing by our own DevOps. So we are a big company. Normally, the DevOps is in another department as it is needed in such a big company. But in our office, in the software that we are delivering, we take care and responsibility for it by being ourselves the third-level support. This is also a little bit uncommon. And they own the domain of architecture and technology. When the developer says, or the engineer says, this is not feasible, what can design do then? Yeah, but I want a unicorn. Yeah, but unicorns are not real. I cannot build one. Yeah, so okay, so this is this balance. So this Venn diagram in the middle shows how a team can perform together in order to figure out and validate problems and do and create the best possible solution for it. The anti-role of the engineer is the tech hero, you know, arrogant, or whatever the negative stereotypes can be of such a person. Then there is, besides that picture, two other things you need to know and to do. First of all, 100% allocation. This means not multi-product management. Yeah, every person is allocated to one team, to one product, and co-location. These people sit together. They sit together in our office at the moment. We have like bays. So each bay contains a team with a CI screen. And the third point, it's 3. Don't make them to grow. So Jeff Bezos says 2 pizza-sized team is optimum. When I show you later a team picture, I have to admit it's 2 family pizza-sized teams, but this is also working. So let me show you a little bit about the technology stack. So here you see we do like an example of test-driven development for those of you who don't know what it is. So before you start programming and delivering a feature, you write a test for it. of course the test will fail. It will be red because you didn't have done anything before. So this is a kind of programming. It's not brand new. This is a type that we love because it has a very, very nice code quality and reliability when you do like test-driven development. The reason why people don't do it is sometimes because the ramp-up curve of visible features is a little bit slower, but it is much more longer and reliable and scalable and cleaner. So do test-driven development. That's super. The next thing is the pairing, as I mentioned. So for those who are new to that concept, pairing means when two people share one screen and do at one and the same time the same task, while the one person is driving and the other person is observing and asking questions and, learning, maybe. And this ensures really, really high code quality, learning, empathy, friendship, all this cool stuff that you can do when you have a pair. And there are different concepts of how you can change, the pairing time or technique. There's something called tomato, where you switch every 20 minutes, 3 times, I think, and then you go into a break. As I said, this is new for some people, and it requires some special skills and abilities and patience and passion for what you're doing. But we're doing this concept, and there are reasons why pairing is not meaningful for all the topics, like for research or something. But in general, we do that, and it works really, really great. This is an example for those who might don't know it. This is a so-called continuous integration pipeline. So this is an example of one of my team's projects. So here you can see every box is like an app or a microservice or something. And every time when it's blinking, then the code that just gets written, so the test turned green, then you deploy your feature story into the code base. Then it starts deploying, and it gets tested in the whole system. So every piece of new code gets tested against each other, with each other, and sometimes, you see then a nice, beautiful red box, sometimes the test fails. But that's okay, because A, I know it failed, B, I know where it failed, and C, it's not yet in the cloud. Because the code gets pushed into the cloud when the whole pipeline is green. Yeah, and then you can deliver much better experience, much reliable experience to your customers, right? When you don't have buggy code or stuff. So this is a tiny deep dive into the technology stack. And we think that with the few things I was just telling you, we get a perfect match of different things that are not new, but in their combination maybe are, especially for such a huge institution and corporate instance like we are. So here's the formula. Balanced team. We talked about that. Balanced team is everything I talked about, this team Venn diagram and the competences we need. Secondly, it's the customer development. The customer development brings everything together, what I was talking about, designer and product manager. This is where design thinking and lean startup methodologies come together in order to validate properly business models before you waste your money, your time, and your social capital to fail on a product. This is everything in the customer development. So first you validate something, you search something, you validate before you go into scaling. The agile development shows you everything what you have figured out here is right, that it gets deployed in a proper way. Agile itself, and here we come back a little bit to vocabulary work, agile itself does not have necessarily a brain. It does not tell you to do the right thing. It tells you to do things right. How does a great code base look like? How is a stable product made? This is what agile tells you. And some people assume when they say, oh, you're working so agile, that you automatically do the right thing. But this is not true. But this combination of it is in combination with an awesome team that makes it super enjoyable and fun to build a product that matters to someone. Yeah, and going back to self-determination and knowing why you're here, it's amazing. And I can just say, from my experiences and from the work that I have done so far, I don't want to change ever back to my working life before. And here's why. That's the team I'm blessed and allowed to work with. I told you about my flamingo face. They are just watching right now the live stream in the office, and this gives me the chance to say thank you. Thank you to you, because you are the reason why I love my work, with your friendship, with your professionality, and your passion to everything you do and you can. So this is very nice. I really can just say, try to establish such an environment, try to work in such an environment. It is really, really, really life-changing. Okay, this was nice, but what we can do? Yeah, what we can do. I mean, I told you now how magnificent and powerful all these things is. What can you do now on action? So here are some advices. When you work in a larger company, let's say corporate company, you will have a top management level. You need a top manager that protects and enables such a work environment. So if you are a top manager, and maybe there are some of you here, here's the advices. Get a safe space, maybe far away from the mothership, because whatever you will do will be new. And we know sometimes new things are not so appreciated. Secondly, top management level. If you want to work like that, and I showed you the pairing of these 3 things you need to do, find a strategic partner who helps you with knowledge, experience, and passion to make this happen, what I was just showing you. So there are lots of companies kind of around San Francisco, Silicon Valley, Seattle that work like that. It's no new science. It's maybe just the combination, but even that is not crazy new. So find a partner, engage them in a strategic partnership, and pair with them to ramp up such an office, maybe at least for a time about 9 months. This, what I just showed you, will not happen in 3, 4, 6, or 8 weeks. Yeah, so this takes a little bit longer because it's new. Thirdly, you will or you have to support this new office with your top management superpowers. Yeah, there are things like procurement, HR, legal, and many more things where the people need help to. So the 3 parts I showed you about, like, this is customer, this is technology, this is business, is just the minimum set you need for a product, but there's much more around it. Yeah, as I said, this 3 was just an example. The 4th thing for top manager, be prepared that the people on the same level or others, because it's new, can misunderstand you, and you will get haters. Yeah, you will get people that don't believe or don't trust what you're doing and why you're doing it. But afterwards, when they see how good it works out, they want to steal it from you. So this way or that way, it's super hard. As a top manager, this is not a puppy shop. Yeah, where you get, yay, this is Jazz Hands for Innovations, and we want to do that, and yeah, it's so magnificent to work fast and validated and efficient. It's super hard work. And you need to be aware of it before you start such an office. Okay, what you can do when you're a manager. First of all, so let's say middle manager, middle layer manager, so something like an office director maybe. The first thing is start small. Start very, very small. I'm talking about maximum 2 product teams, AKA between 12, maximum 14 people. Yeah, because you need to grow as the architecture. You need to grow naturally, and this does not come when you hire 150 people at one place or at one time. Secondly, you need a new hiring process. Hiring, how it was in the olden days, will not work here. Yeah, of course, you have to check up if the people that apply there have the qualities and the knowledge they have. But in the last instance, to make this balanced team thing work, you need people that decide, okay, I want to work with this person. And it's not said or given that everyone comes along with this pairing thing or that they somehow come along with the whole concept. This does not make them into bad people. It's not. It's just a special kind of characters you need in order to make this happen. Third thing, let the team be the solution builder. Give the team the autonomy they need in order to have a happy product life. So they validate the problems, they figure out the solutions. Yeah, important is the outcome. However, and why the customer is easy, it's up to the tactics side, which is the team, to decide how to manufacture a solution. Next, stop your addiction of being right. In a learning environment, you don't need persons that can predict the future. We don't need that. We need to handle the future, and we need methodologies how to learn and how to support these teams. So if you are a middle manager and you want to get into this, learn about servant leadership, what servant leadership means, and get into a question-based management. Question-based management shows what have you learned, how did you validate that, and what do you do next? This is question-based management. It's not dictating the color of an app or how a button should look like. Yeah? And as middle management, and this might be new, is this pivot or persevere mechanics. It's coming from a lean startup wording, vocabulary. So pivoting means when you figure out that your product is on the wrong way, or no one wanted to use it, or there is not enough need, it means you change direction. This is pivot. Yeah, and often in big companies, you set up a project, you do this huge planning thing, and you do the execution thing, and at some point you just stop changing direction because you said, no, I invested already so much. So I stick with that product instead of stopping it. Okay, what you can do as an internal entrepreneur, this is how we call the people that are in the balanced team. So there's some special things required to survive that, or to have the fun. First, be humble and nice. And this is a crucial point. Appreciate yourself. When, for whatever reason, when you don't like yourself and you don't appreciate yourself as an individual in self-responsibility and changing the world, how can someone else like you? And someone else liking you is the key factor that the balanced team is working. Right? When I don't want to work with this person, for whatever reasons, then it's not good. This will not go into flight. Yeah? So be prepared to get more resilient. Try to appreciate yourself and your time and your life here. Try to practice how to give and receive feedback. Share your knowledge. Yeah? Your knowledge is something that you owe to the world. To make it better, share your knowledge, make people better, engage them. Yeah, let's start creating this, and this will not happen if you keep what you know as a secret and defend it. Yeah? Last one. 10 seconds. Last one. Know that a team of average and reliable performing actors, I'm not saying average actors, average performing actors, will deliver an excellent outcome. Teamwork is the key. It is not possible that one single person knows everything you need in order to create a good product. It's just not possible. There are exceptions, but assuming we are not, we have to stay in the competences we are good in. We have to find nice decision-making ways without hurting anyone or staying strong, so that we can deliver a great product not only for users or customers or business, but also to the environment and to the world we all live in. We have the possibilities. We have the chances. We should take that responsibility and create a world we want to love to live in, right? So getting into this knowledge and into this consciousness can really help change your life in business or in professional, wherever. Don't make changes or don't make differences between that. It's your time. Time is time, no matter if you spend it at home or no matter if you spend it in the office. Yeah? So I want strongly to encourage you to get in this new mindset. Here are some examples or advices how to do it. And yeah. Thank you very much for listening. You were a great audience, and maybe we have some time for questions. I don't know. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nora. If we do we have questions, then there's the first hand going up. We have the microphone going there. Another one here in the, maybe, here's another question. Maybe you could get the microphone there already.
Hi, thanks for this talk. I agree 100%. I'm working for a very large company, as you do, and I'm trying to do the same in my company, exact the same principles. And I agree, you said key is the people. The people have to like themselves, the people have to, you're hiring new people. We have the problem, we have the same people as before. So there are a lot of people who don't like themselves, so don't want to change. But some, we are not getting rid of people, so how can we include them?
Okay, so here's some example how we did it. So as I said, we ramped up very small, and the people we started with were really chosen ones, and they paired with the strategic partner we had on that. And one possibility to change those people you were talking about is to show them how great it works. So this is how it can work. You show them the benefits. Here, you get full control over your life. Here, you got valued. When the new currency gets, I value you and I like you to be my team, then you get some intrinsic mechanisms that every one of us has with us. Everyone wants to feel important. That's just natural. Some got dominated by others, like maybe you said. But if you want to deliver this value and business, and this is what the big bosses currently or actually want, then you can start being a role model and showing this is working out. Of course, it's a free decision if they want to join or not, but try to make like a small plant, grow the small plant, make it magnificent, and then try to engage others to be part of that. First, there will be like people, haters, and people who don't like it. This is totally normal. Be aware this will happen. So you have to stay strong and in the truth, and just fight for love and justice. It works out. We managed it too. Just stay believing in it. Thank you. Another question.
Yes.
Here.
Do you want to get up so that the others can see
I
you?
can get up.
Hi.
Okay, hi. I'm a product owner, and I really liked your presentation until the point I saw for product manager handling the PO. So maybe you can elaborate on that, because I don't like to be handled as a PO, but I know I have to work together with product managers. So yeah, maybe you can let us some insights into how you do it.
I can share insights with you. So in the context we are working in, we have the product manager and the product owner. And in some contexts, the same roles are just switched from the name. Yeah, so I know that in Scrum, the product owner is that what we call product manager. And in Lean Startup and Agile, it's other, or Extreme Programming, it's other way around. So here comes the definition how we handle it. The product manager is a full allocated team member. The product manager does tactics. The product owner normally comes from a business department, wants to get a product delivered by us, and normally they should come with a vision, and they say, this is what I want you to do. In the former days, the product owners had also the task to say how the solution looks like. And this is where we handle them and telling them, don't worry, whatever you want, we will do it. Yeah, don't take care about features, just state why you want that, what is your bigger vision. We do everything we can to support you. But leave the competences that are able to do that decisions about features, for example, leave it to the pros. And make your product owner life is super hard, because product owners in the context I'm working with, they handle the corporate landscape. This is super hard work. This is about budget. This is about strategic positions of some products. And I feel really sorry, because I really like my product owners that I have. I see them once a week. They come over. And yeah, then the handling means we teach them a little bit into the new role. Yeah, own the problem, not the solution. This is the new thing. But thank you for the question. This clarifies a lot.
Any other questions?
Yep.
Yes.
So from a product owner to a Scrum Master, within our unit, we began our agile transformation about a year ago, relying on Scrum, and we've been quite successful at it. So my question to you was, in regards to ensuring that the team and as well as the organization actually continues to work in an agile mindset, moving away from command and control more so towards a collaborative environment. Who supports your unit in that aspect? Do you have anyone serving in the role of a Scrum Master or any other roles that actually support the new way of working?
So, thank you. There is support on different levels. So, as I said, we need at all to survive this top management super wing person that keeps everything bad away from us. This is the first thing. The second thing, the middle management. This can be, for example, the office director. The office director takes care that the products that are going to be built by the team somehow comply to the bigger vision and strategy and mission of the office itself. And the servant leader, so this is the office director, the servant leader takes care to unblock the team and to keep the team in the safe space to do whatever they need to do in order to figure out how to build that product. But let me tell you, this is super hard. As I told, this is super hard work. Sometimes when you are also far away from the mothership, you as a employee or as an internal entrepreneur, you hear like things that other people are saying about you and you don't have the chance somehow to react on that. And there are so much more. So you really rely on this top-down. This concept I have just described requires a top-down and bottom-up movement in the same time. No one will survive by its own, no concept, neither the one from the top nor the one from the bottom up. So this is what you described, a part of magic that needs to be done, to be worked and to fight on every day, that this, is kept. But I wish you the best, and I'm sure you can do it when you just believe enough.
Awesome. Last words, maybe. If we have, there's one more question. Anything else I don't see? No.
Hi there, thanks for your inspiring talk. I'm working in education, and do you have any hints what we can do to foster in our students the agile mindset?
Thank you for that question. That's really important for me. So in education especially, you have like young persons. And these young persons often get, images or images or mindsets of often much older generations that had older challenges to overcome. And often they are stuffed with fear and with concerns about the future, and don't know how to tackle that depending from which family situation or whatever they come from. So what you can do to support those students is encouraging them to take this self-responsibility thing. Wherever you come from and whatever happened to you, everything was for a reason and brought you exactly there where you are today. So valuing the past and not being grumpy about the past and having no afraid or no fear of the future and valuing the moment now and what you can do now in order to get there is one of the most important things that you can teach young people, especially that they should start value themselves. Much have a really how can I say? I'm so confused when I go into schools how these young persons are already so worried about things that, on the one hand side are true, like when you see some environmental situations or how we protect wildlife, for example. These are worrying situations. But what we can do to make this better is step into yourself and take this consciousness and start to value whatever happened and to get good advice on what will come and living the moment now and starting accepting, how you are and that you are special and valuable and what you can do. Truth, for example, stay in truth, be kind. What did Cinderella's mom said? Have courage and be kind. Have courage and be kind. Whatever happens, there are cruel things outside, but stay yourself. Don't make bad behavior of other people should not change your behavior. Stay in the light, stay all together, and I think this will work out. And I wish you the best, and I hope that you really can educate those young people.
Courage and kindness. two top ADA traits as well. Thank you so much for your hands-on advice, Nora Scherl.
Yeah, join us.